Hey guys, some gamer dude here. I didn't really feel like making a video this week because I've been feeling pretty freaking miserable. A lot of things in personal life have just been going really badly lately. But I felt like I really should make a video. And this has not only been a topic that's been discussed in my personal group, things I probably won't discuss in this video, but I did get accused of being very negative towards Argent Saga with nothing positive to say about it in the comments. At least that's what I believe the um, comment was. Maybe accusation is too harsh of a word to use, but I can't really think of another term right now. The thing is, that is correct, but it's because of the perspective I'm coming from. I'll put that way. I'll say straight out, I don't see Argent Saga doing well, I don't see it failing on its face day one or just kind of crawling to the grave like a lot of the Bushiroad games do that just come out with a lot of fanfare from Bushiroad and just don't find an audience. I think it'll definitely find an audience. I just don't think it's very interesting. See, the reason it'll find an audience is very obvious. Force of Will was beloved. Everyone knew that it crapped the bed really badly because the people behind it were inept. Let's be honest, they were inept. All of them, with no exceptions. There's some things that even Jeff has said that I'm really questioning whether he was truthful about now. I won't get into it now, but I'm glad I didn't make that video. Mostly towards the nature of how Japanese TCGs are developed, I don't think it's true. But yeah, with Force of Will dying, which it is, it's not going to last. The third set of the current block, the new Valhalla, didn't profit. The fourth set is a dumpster fire. This new cluster, the new Alice cluster, is reusing art, which is going to be confusing in Wanderer, and it's going to have to make such a serious splash. It's not funny if it does power creep. It's kind of sending the wrong message. It's got to be an interesting and fun set. And from what I've heard now from a person that actually owns a store and my own personal experiences trying to get product when New Valhalla started, Forceville treats stores with such contempt, to be honest. It is outright contempt and entitlement that I don't see why anyone in their right mind would want to deal with them. And to be quite frank, I wouldn't touch them going forward either. They're best left to rot and fester and just die off at this point. They're not going to get better. They're not going to learn. The type of people in charge aren't the types to get better and learn. Which leaves us with Argent Saga, which is basically Force of Will Redux, and it's where all these Force of Will people are going to go because they want this Force of Will like game. And this is it. It's also got a lot of aspects of Duel Masters because in the beginning, Forcible had a lot of aspects of Duel Masters because Duel Masters is by far the most influential Japanese game. Even more so than you'd think Pokemon would be influential, but no one really cribs anything from it. But Forcible dropped a lot of these Duel Masters aspects, even its Yu-Gi-Oh aspects with the chance standbys. This game takes all of those, well, Argent Saga, I should say, takes all of those aspects of Duel Masters, and instead of going more magic, it goes more that, and completely reconfigures the shield system. But that's all it's really got that's original, and that's kind of my problem with it. Argent Saga has no identity. It has no spark. It it is just, if you liked Force of Will, this is it, but with some changes and probably a bit better made. Although I've heard they got printing problems straight off. That's all Argent Saga is. There's no identity of its own. It's got nothing to go, hey, wow, that's a cool mechanic. That's really inventive and interesting. It's just, yeah, yeah, it's Force of Will, but with some changes. That I'm no, I'm harping on this, and I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again. But that's what Argent Saga feels to me. It feels like something I've done before, with nothing new being brought to the table. The whole, oh, my colors are these two cards. Well, To be quite frank, I thought of it over, well, back in 2017. Not Duel Masters. It probably comes from an older game anyway. And what's its name? Bakugan uses it. So much for originality there. The whole Towers thing, well, it is just a remake of Duel Masters. They don't have enough health to be really that much, well, power, I guess, because it uses a unified system. It they don't have enough to really have that much of an impact over just having the one. It's actually less interesting than shield triggers themselves. I know it probably stops Double Breaker, but yeah, to be quite honest, and I'm going to be really honest, I think Chrono Clash does more new than Argent Saga. I know the Chrono Gauge is cribbed from another game itself, but the Chrono Gauges is the first time I've seen it. It's been done in a way that's really drawing a lot of attention to it because it's cool. The whole quest system and being able to having so many cards with shield trigger mechanics, that's really cool. There's so much about Chrono Clutch that's like, that's a really cool way to do that. Or you're using these cards in a new way. And I'm like, I like this. It's interesting. It sparks imagination. It sparks me. I want to try this out. Argent Saga, on the other hand, is all okay. I've done this before. And that's why I can't get on with it. I'm like, it's no new experiences to me. That's why I play games. I play games for new experiences. This is why also part of why I started to get a bit bored with Vanguard after a while in the original era when I started mass buying product and playing every single deck. Part of me wishes I had access to CFA back then, but my computer at the time wasn't fast enough because it was very resource intensive back then. But once I get to experience everything, I feel kind of done with the game. It's kind of done. I feel so when metas are solved, that's when people feel kind of done. For me, it's more I got to experience everything that I wanted to experience. There's nothing new being done with it. It's boring now. I feel done. Uh, it feels like it should end now. And that's where TCGs actually have benefits in being expandable games because they can bring in new experiences to spark people. People like me who want new experiences. Argent Saga doesn't have anything new. That's a big concern. Um, a friend of mine thinks it reeks of being a scam, the way it's been done, but I'm not neither here nor there, to be quite honest. I don't care. I'd have to see how the cards pan out into the rarities and how the rarities drop and everything. It doesn't look good from what's being said, but well, let's see how it pans out. But I can tell you one thing: I probably won't be playing it. I'd probably be more interested in it than, say, Magic the Gathering right now because I like games where you can develop bonds with cards. It's something that's really important to me at the moment. Uh, Trying to generate good feelings with games, and Magic doesn't really do that for me. Argent Saga with its champion and familiar system, I forget what they're actually called right now. I think they're champion and familiar, or spirit was it? Yeah, anyway, uh, that's something to bond with. I like that, but the ruler does the same. And to be quite frank, a friend of mine who's heavy into fossil who only quit it recently-ish. Um, that started it when I started it, and I actually nearly lost them when I quit Force of Will because the argument was that severe. We've had that discussion about the rule of dictating colors before because it's a concept straight from Commander and it makes sense. Force of Will's rulers don't make sense that they have colors because nothing really interacts with them. It's actually something that I kind of like in Dragon Ball Super, how a lot of cards will refer to your leader being a specific color, being a specific character type. So it'll say like Android, green, etc., etc. Uh, Forceful doesn't do that. Argent Saga, it makes a great deal of importance on the colors of your cards. But so does Bakugan. And I've had the idea since 2017. A friend can actually attest to me mentioning this type of idea for quite a few games that use color systems going back that far. It's not like it's a unique idea because the entire concept is straight up taken from Commander. It's just broken down into component cards. It's not unique. Hell, the person who thought up Commander is probably the one that deserves the credit for that idea. It's just people like me, Justin Gary, and whoever designed uh, Argent Saga break it down into component cards to make it modular, which again is the whole reason you do it, to make it modular, so that you can have customization over it. But the command is a fantastic idea for restricting card interaction, and that's why people copy it. See, that's a lot of things about card games. People copy good ideas, but they morph it into what they need. Argent Saga doesn't morph anything. This is, again, it just doesn't do anything to make me interested. Dragon Ball Super does. Clash does. It's not so much I want originality, it's I want old things used in new ways, or old things sparked up with something new. It doesn't have to be completely original. It just has to do something new. I'll use Chrono Clash as an example again. It's basically Duel Masters. Okay? There's a few cards in there. I think it's the Neji card actually that is a straight up rip of Duel Masters Terror Pit. Same cost, same effect. It's also got the same shield trigger uh, clause. But I don't care. It's how the game as a whole changes things up. Uh, Lateral thinking with the technology, that Gunpei Yokoi comment. It's that. It's that in a nutshell. That's what I want. But as I said, Argent Saga just doesn't give that to me. Maybe later on they'll introduce a mechanic that's like, oh, gee whiz, that's really interesting. I like that. That is really cool. That is enough to get me to play. But as is, it doesn't tickle my fancy. It doesn't do what I want cards to do to get interested in it. This is why I'm so heavy on the Bakugan thing. I really love the playing at the same time. I love the tactile toy gameplay of it. There's just so much to love there that it does new. Even a friend of mine who really does not like the toy aspect said, hey, playing at the same time, that's a lot of fun. That feels fresh. That feels original and new. I hate the toys. That's shit. But I like playing at the same time. And I'm like, at least you can appreciate it's trying to do something new. Even if you don't like what it's doing, you can appreciate what it's doing. And by having that new feeling, that new play style of playing at the same time, it actually got him thinking about the game quite a bit and was like, hey, I'd actually like to see that used in something without the stupid kiddie toys. Because, again, he really doesn't like toys. But that's what I mean. Argent Saga, it's just like, it's a thing that exists. Uh, it doesn't do anything. I think I've showed him and he's like kind of I don't care. It's He's much harder to please than I am. He snuffs everything these days because he knows what he likes and he likes what he knows. And new things have to be really good to make him part with his money because all he sees is boxes of cards that he'll probably never play again, collecting dust. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. That's my perspective. It doesn't do anything new. That's why I'm not interested. If you are interested, all the power to you. I just don't see it. I do understand why you would find it appealing if you really want something to take the place of Force of Will. But I don't really want that, to be honest. I've had that Force of Will experience. I want something else. I don't need something to replace Force of Will. At least not what they're offering, because to be quite frank, not even the art really sparks me. It's very much bog standard Western art with no real spark. I'll be talking about art in a future video a bit, well, a little bit, because I'm talking about Magic the Gathering art. But this type of art, you don't have to have it so bland and uninteresting. You can make it pop with use of colors. So this has been some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.